What's up guys, Lundic here, and today getting an audio commentary. Now on this channel, audio commentaries are going to be quite rare. Basically these are going to be once every so often, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, something like that. Just really because I think the slide reviews, the top lists and all that, get far more views and comments than the audio commentaries, which leads me to believe that the slides are far more popular among the subscribers than the audio commentaries. So from now on, audio commentaries only done if I really want to talk about something, or if something really big happens in wrestling. So there you go. So what I'm doing today is bringing back a little rebooking session. I mean, you've seen on the channel before where I've rebooked a few old WrestleManias, but this time I want to rebook what is generally considered the worst WWF pay-per-view of all time. We're excluding ECW December to Dismember, but far as like proper big WWF pay-per-views, King of the Ring 1995, yes. I'm sure you've all heard about this show. A few of you might have even seen this show. And if you haven't, if you're one of the ones who've only heard about this show and haven't seen it, well, believe the hype, because this is an absolutely piece of shit, atrocious, crap, wank, awful, anything you can describe bad, just all kinds of bad, really. I mean, WWF in 1995 was God, the worst time in the history of the company, and this is even worse than WrestleMania 11, believe it or not. So yeah, I'm gonna have a stab at rebooking this to try and get this to be a respectable show. Of course, only using the roster that's available at the time. So before we do that, let's just go over what the real card was. The tournament went like this. Yokozuna quarterfinals, Yokozuna versus Savio Vega. Savio Vega was actually replacing Razor Ramon, who I think got injured. What else have we got here? We've got Bob Holly versus the Roadie, which, believe it or not, was actually the best match of the night. So with Bob Holly and the Roadie having the best match on the show, you've got problems. Shawn Michaels versus Kama, which went to a 15-minute draw. Then we got Mabel versus what's his face? The Undertaker. Sorry, Mabel versus the Undertaker. Which, yes, Mabel went over the Undertaker in the first round. Semi-finals, Mabel got a bye due to Shawn Michaels and Kama drawing. Savio Vega versus the Roadie, which Savio Vega won. And then in the epic final, Mabel versus Savio Vega, which Mabel won the King of the Ring tournament. And then two undercard matches of Bret Hart versus Jerry Lawler in a Kiss My Foot match. And this epic main event, folks, tag team action, WWF champion Big Daddy Cool Diesel and Bam Bam Bigelow versus Psycho Sid and Tatanka. So, yep, that sounds like an awful, insulting card now, doesn't it? So, yeah, let's just get right to it, really. So we'll obviously start off with the tournament where it needs to start off with. So, opening match of the King of the Ring tournament is Shawn Michaels taking on Owen Hart. Owen Hart was one half of the tag team champions at the time. No idea why the hell he wasn't in this tournament. I mean, for me, Owen Hart was probably the third best wrestler in the company at the time, behind Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And of course, Shawn Michaels and Owen Hart had pretty underrated in-ring chemistry. And for me, they really didn't have as many matches as they could have had. I mean, they had a couple of matches on Raw in 95. The In Your House Rage in the Cage match. But apart from that, really, they really could have done a lot more together. I mean, a lot of people actually think that Shawn and Owen had better chemistry than Bret and Shawn, but I'm not sure if I agree with that. I will say, though, that Shawn and Owen didn't have nearly the same sort of personal problems that Bret and Shawn had, so they were able to work together a bit better. So this would open up the show. And if for no other reason to give us a red hot opener, which I reckon this is exactly what this would be. Give them, even if they only had 10 minutes to work, I think they could give us a very good opener match because obviously Owen Hart, Shawn Michaels, two excellent wrestlers. And Shawn Michaels defeats Owen Hart to advance to the semi-finals. I think most people see where I'm going with this tournament and probably won't be surprised by the outcome. Now, second tournament match is the Undertaker is in this tournament, but he's not facing King Mabel. He's actually going up against Psycho Sid, who was part of the Million Dollar Corporation and just finished off facing Diesel for the title at the first In Your House. I was going to face him again at the second In Your House, but I've got another plan for Diesel in the championship. So Psycho Sid's in this tournament facing off against the Undertaker. Now, I'm not saying this will be a good match or anything, because let's be honest, it would probably be pretty bad, but I just think Psycho Sid against the Undertaker has a hell of a lot more credibility than most of the shite we were getting of the Undertaker at this time. Mate, this was right in the middle of the Undertaker Million Dollar Corporation feud, which, God, that seemed to last forever and ever and ever and ever. So, yeah, just let them have the match. And actually, I would actually have Psycho Sid go over with the same finish he did, and the finish he did in real life as Kama from who the Undertaker was feuding with at the time. Cost the Undertaker his first round match with Mabel. So I'll do it exactly the same, except Kama cost Undertaker the match against Sid. So Psycho Sid defeats the Undertaker, giving us a semi-final match of Shawn Michaels versus Psycho Sid. Now moving on, next up, the British Bulldog faced off against Lex Luger. I mean, if you remember the WrestleMania 11 rebooking video, you might recall that I booked a big heel turn for the British Bulldog at that show, turning on Lex Luger and selling out to Ted DiBiase in the Million Dollar Corporation. So I just feel that the Bulldog with DiBiase would have been better than with Cornette. And I know one thing's for certain, with a heel British Bulldog, the British Bulldog needed a manager because I love the guy, obviously, but with all due respect to him, Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, was pretty damn awful on the microphone, let's be honest about that. He's probably one of the worst mic guys out there. I actually think Bret Hart was probably like 5 times better on the microphone than the British Bulldog was. And that's no disrespect to the British Bulldog, just some people have him on the mic and some people don't, so yeah, so this could be a continuation of Bulldog and Luger could have had a feud in the spring months in 1995, so they randomly get paired up in this tournament, so yeah, just let the Bulldog and Luger have a little match. Not sure what it would be like, because Lex Luger was pretty bad in the ring throughout most of his WWF run, to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of people think Lex Luger's like one of the worst wrestlers ever, but just watch his first WCW run in the late 80s, early 90s. It'll show you that Lex Luger actually wasn't that bad in the ring at all. Had some great matches at times, but for me, he never really brought that with him to the WWF. Just didn't really, yeah, it was never really worked out Lex in the WWF, did it? So let them have the match, even have it where DiBiase distracts Luger, the British Bulldog rolls him up with the tights to get the victory. So the British Bulldog advances to the next round. And the final quarterfinal match of the night is 1-2-3 Kid versus Hakushi. Just remember, folks, Razor was injured, so he wasn't on this card. So that's why Razor Ramon's not on this tournament or on this card at all, for that matter. So Hakushi 1-2-3 Kid. They opened up SummerSlam 1995, if you recall, and actually had a damn good opener. I mean, Hakushi was an interesting character at the time. I mean, I've said in FM a couple of times that I thought Hakushi would have been a lot more at home in WCW at the time than the WWF, because WCW had more smaller cruiserweight wrestlers on the roster. I mean, let's be honest, Hakushi had a totally different style than everybody else in WWF, which I liked because it stood out to me. I mean, remember that awesome match you had with Bret Hart at the first In Your House? That is actually, in my opinion, either that one or the Jean-Pierre Lafitte one in Triple Header, the most underrated match Bret Hart ever had, for me. But if you've seen over the years, Vince's track record of pushing foreign wrestlers is awful, really. I mean, especially Japanese wrestlers can anyone actually think of it? Single Japanese wrestler who's actually been successful in WWE. And don't give me Yokozuna before you try that because he's actually Samoan. But yeah, Hakushi had a decent little run, but it was pretty after the 1-2-3 Kid match at SummerSlam. It was pretty much nothing. So yeah, let them go this match because it'll probably be a fast-paced, exciting, entertaining match, all that sort of thing. And just let them do the thing. The 1-2-3 Kid go for Akushi. So now you've got the semi-finals of Shawn Michaels versus Psycho Sid, and the British Bulldog versus the 1-2-3 Kid. But before we get to that, we have other matches on the card. And the first non-tournament match is just simple. Bam Bam Bigelow going one-on-one with Tatanka. Really, the build-up is exactly the same with Tatanka losing to Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania. No, fucking hell. Bam Bam losing to Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania 11. Bam Bam turning babyface after that. I'm sure he lost to Diesel on Raw. See, this was all like 19 years ago now, so it's hard to remember some of this stuff at times. But if I remember rightly, Bam Bam was facing Diesel for the title on Raw, and he lost, and the $1 Million Corporation turned on him. So yeah, and of course Bam Bam and Tatanka were a tag team for a little while. Even in the tag team tournament in early 1995, losing out to the 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Holly at the Royal Rumble in 1995. So yeah, basically just that's it. Really, is no real big epic feud or anything. So Bam, and this match would probably not be all that good, but I think it would make sense to book it here. So Bam Bam, just let them have a short, like 6, 7, 8 minute match, something like that. Bam Bam Bigelow, the babyface, beats the tank. Not much else to say about that really. But now we're back into the tournament portion of the show. And the first semi-final match of the night would be Shawn Michaels versus Psycho Sid. I think Shawn Michaels definitely had Sid's best matches. I mean, I'm a big fan of Sid. I think the guy's just cool as fuck. But I'm not going to lie and tell you that he's this awesome worker because he really wasn't. I mean, Survivor Series 1996, easily the best match of Sid's life. But they had other good matches as well, like Royal Rumble 1997. There was a Raw in September 1995 for the Intercontinental title. They had a good match there as well. So, and then obviously, remember the reason Shawn turned babyface in the first place is because his bodyguard Sid attacked him after losing to Diesel at WrestleMania 11. So they had a storyline going as well. So yeah, just let them have the match. I'm sure Shawn would still do a good job of carrying Sid to something watchable. And then this also is good. So Shawn can beat the big man. I mean, in the real match they did on Raw, they actually had a finish where Shawn did 3 super kicks. And I would do that same finish here. I thought that was a good idea. So yeah, let's have Shawn go over Sid clean. Because it makes Shawn look good, beating one half of the tag team champions, and then beating the 6'9" monster and Psycho Sid. Second and final semi-final match of the night. The British Bulldog face off against the 1-2-3 Kid. I think this will be a good match. I mean, the Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, had some great matches when he was in there with top-notch guys. I mean, the best match of his career took place against Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and Owen Hart. And 1-2-3 Kid was probably one of the most underrated workers on the roster at the time as well. I mean, I've always said this about the new generation era, even though like the product and all that was pretty bad, I still think the work rate was pretty good. I mean, in 1995 we had quite a lot of good matches. 1995, despite how bad the roster was, we still got some good matches there as well. I think 1-2-3 Kid, probably the most underrated worker of the new generation era. He's very young as well. He was only in his early 20s too. So yeah, I reckon this could be a good match. I don't know how much time I'd give, but that's whatever. And of course, the British Bulldog gets the victory over the 1-2-3 Kid, clears a run of Power Slam, which gives us our King of the Ring final of Shawn Michaels versus the British Bulldog. But again, before we get to that, we've got to get some non-tournament action. And this is just a tweak on what really happened, but Bret Hart versus Jerry Lawler, but importantly, not in a stupid kiss my foot match. No corny shit like that. Just Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler one-on-one feud ending match. Yeah, no, just not a gimmick match, not a kiss my foot match. Just Bret Hart, Jerry Lawler one-on-one, and all the build-up would be exactly the same. I do think, even though the matches weren't all that good, Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler had a good feud. I mean, you got to admit Jerry Lawler's antics during the Bret Hart feud were hilarious, where he took the piss out of Bret's family, and particularly how much he took the piss out of Stu and Helen. That was some of the lines about Bret's mother Helen was some of them were absolutely hilarious. I mean, because Stu and Helen were old at this point. I mean, Stu was probably 8-year-old then, so some of the material Lawler used in that was classic. So yeah, just let Bret Hart, Jerry Lawler have the match. Give them 10, 12 minutes, something like that. Yeah, for some reason I don't think Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler had that good in-ring chemistry. Probably one of the few guys Bret Hart never really had good matches with. I think the best one they had was at SummerSlam 1993, but even that was just a decent match. So yeah, let them have the thing. Bret Hart beats Jerry Lawler pretty decisively. But now the big one, Bret Hart moves into a new, fresh feud. He doesn't end up feuding with Jerry Lawler's dentist, because if you remember that, Jerry Lawler, oh god. After this, the Kiss My Foot match, Jerry Lawler was so humiliated. He got this surgery with his evil dentist, Isaac Yankem, to fight Bret Hart at SummerSlam. Yes, that's what the product was like at the time. So now we're back at King of the Ring action final. Shawn Michaels versus the British Bulldog. And I picked this finally because I think two credible guys. And also because I think these two guys have very underrated in-ring chemistry. Possibly Shawn Michaels' most underrated in-ring chemistry ever. I mean, they had lots of good matches. Starting back in 1992 where Shawn won the Intercontinental title from the Bulldog. They had a good match in 1995. 1996 King of the Ring had a great title match, and of course the One Night Only match is the most famous match, which even though I hated the ending, I thought the match was awesome, so there is that. So yeah, now here's our King of the Ring final, Shawn Michaels British Bulldog. Give them 15 minutes or whatever they need, maybe even 18-20 minutes. So I know that in fact they'd probably have another great match here as well. So, and I think no one's going to be surprised at the outcome. I'm going with the outcome that's the majority of what people's opinions are. Shawn Michaels defeats the British Bulldog to become 1995 King of the Ring. I think majority of the YWC, IWC are in agreement that Shawn Michaels should have won the 1995 King of the Ring. Would have been a nice boon for Shawn. I mean, because Shawn was getting the big push, he was going to be the WWF champion in 1996, so I just feel that by winning the King of the Ring that would have helped Shawn's credibility a little, just even a little bit more. Sorry about that. Right, so Shawn Michaels wins the King of the Ring. Not King Mabel, obviously that was stupid, but that's whatever. So Shawn Michaels is your new King of the Ring 1995 winner, which leads to the main event, and this match might surprise somebody, but was it many better options at the time? This is WWF Champion Diesel defending the title against the Intercontinental Champion Jeff Jarrett, but only Diesel's title on the line. And I know what you're thinking. I've slated Jeff Jarrett's qualities as a main event player in the past, and I stick by all those opinions. But this is really only a one-off match, a one-off pay-per-view match, not a regular thing. And let me ask you this: is this really any worse than King Mabel getting a title shot and some of the other guys that were getting title matches in all this time? Not really. So, and Jeff Jarrett was definitely a good wrestler at the time as well. Not a great in-ring performance, but I think he was definitely good and all that. So, yeah, just have it, because back then, sometimes you could just randomly announce people as a number one contender for no real reason. So just do that. Jeff Jarrett announces as number one contender. Said he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Because he used to always say, he used to always call himself the greatest singer, the greatest entertainer, and the world's greatest wrestler. So I say he's going to prove that he's the greatest wrestler by beating Big Daddy Cool for the WWF Championship. This doesn't need a big build up, just have stuff on Raw like the Roadie distracting Diesel and Jeff Jarrett, attacking Diesel's knee and putting the figure four on him. They could even do it in the build up where Jeff Jarrett's injured Diesel's knee to figure four. So yeah, this is the main event, Diesel versus Jeff Jarrett. I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll be a decent match. Not a great match or everything, but I'm sure it'll be pretty decent. Doesn't need to go too long. I just give them 10, 12, 13 minutes, something like that. And of course, I'm not going to be stupid enough to put the title on Jeff Jarrett. So Diesel beats Jeff Jarrett fairly easily and decisively, and that can close out. King of the Ring 1995. So I'm not saying this is an awesome card, but I would like to think this is a damn sight better than the real card. So if you've got any opinions on this card, any changes you'd make, or that sort of thing, put them in the comment section below. And I'll be out for now, so peace guys.